Hey everybody, welcome back to my bathroom. So today we're going to talk about Planned Parenthood. This is a topic where I feel people are consistently misinformed and underinformed, and it's very important to be informed when there are constant and never-ending talks about defunding Planned Parenthood. So we're going to talk about what that would actually mean, and what we're not going to talk too much about are people's personal opinions on whether the actual procedure of abortion is right or wrong, because you'll see in a minute why I find that to be irrelevant to the overall conversation. But I will remind everyone that under my 14th Amendment right to privacy, I do have the liberty to make decisions about my own body without your consent. So we're going to go ahead and move on and talk about funding. So Planned Parenthood is a nonprofit organization, and they receive about 1/3 of the money that they need to operate through the government, and they receive it in two ways. One way is federal funding through the Title X Family Planning Program that makes up about 1/3 of the total government money they receive, and the other 2/3 comes in the form of Medicaid reimbursements, and that's a mix of state and federal money. So it's not like they're getting one of those big cardboard game show checks or anything. It's just like any other place that accepts Medicaid. They're being reimbursed for services already provided. So that brings us to services. So due to the plethora of propaganda circulated over the past several decades, people tend to only associate Planned Parenthood with abortion, but most of their locations don't even provide that as a service, and it makes up only about 3% of what they actually do. You can go add the numbers up for yourself, and when you do, you'll see that annually they provide about 10.5 million other services, including breast exams, pap smears, STD tests, cancer screenings, and birth control. So very necessary reproductive health care services. And most of the time when we see people presenting the argument to defund Planned Parenthood, if they even address a solution at all, they'll say something like, oh, well, there's other places people can go that, probably accept Medicaid. Well, yeah, there are some other places people can go that also accept government money and also may perform abortion services. So what's the difference? Why are we attacking our nation's largest provider of reproductive health care for women? I don't know. But none of that really explains how these other smaller places are supposed to take on the demand of 10.5 million other service needs. Oops. People don't tend to think of that too much, and that's why if you're willing to overlook the kindergarten math of 97 is a hell of a lot more than 3, I unapologetically question your empathy and your intellect. But moving on. So let's say you are pro-life. There are plenty of pro-life people that support Planned Parenthood because they see all of the good it does. They can do kindergarten math, and if their goal is to reduce the amount of abortions, then they know that increased access to birth control reduces the amount of unwanted pregnancies, which will reduce the amount of abortions. So if that's really your goal, it makes total sense to support Planned Parenthood, right? But we do see a lot of people that identify themselves as pro-life people, which would, seek to strip a woman of her right to choose and seek to force women to carry and birth children they're not in a position to take care of, that are part of the very same group of people that consistently vote against food stamps, education assistance, and affordable health care. So I think we should ask ourselves, is that really pro-life or is it just pro-birth? So moving on. Now we're going to talk about one of the most insidious causes of misinformation: propaganda. So the most recent of which being those super awesome videos people were sharing all around Facebook about how Planned Parenthood sells baby parts for profit. Oh my God. Well, it sounds crazy because it is crazy because it's not actually true. So what they actually do is, in like less than 10% of cases, they will offer the woman the chance to send her tissue to be used for research in the past that has led to things like the polio vaccine, and it's illegal to actually charge for that. So all they do is ask for the cost of shipping, refrigeration, etc. to be covered, and that's totally legal. But those videos were actually heavily edited, and they were conducted by an organization that was operating under like a fraudulent purpose. So those videos launched tons of investigations into Planned Parenthood, and they were recently just cleared of any wrongdoing, not indicted by a grand jury, but the assholes who made the video were indicted on criminal charges. So, it's important to know that and to not believe everything that you see. But even still, even though Planned Parenthood was cleared of any wrongdoing and the people who made those videos were indicted on criminal charges, Several states, including my own, are still attempting to revoke Medicaid reimbursement from Planned Parenthood, even though that's not really a thing that they're actually allowed to do, but they're doing it anyway. And that's why we all need to pay attention to this. Whether you've ever been to Planned Parenthood or you'll ever have to, it doesn't really matter. This is affecting millions of other American women, so it affects us all. And that's why we need to stand up and speak out. And men, we need you too, because ladies, this is an assault on our rights. This is an assault on our liberty as human beings. And this is an effort to drastically reduce our access to quality reproductive health care. So if we care about women, we have to stand up, speak out, and advocate for the only friend that's always been there for us, Planned Parenthood. So I've included a link below with a little guide to different things you can do to help, move forward and fight for Planned Parenthood, fight for reproductive rights, and fight for access to quality health care for the women of this country. So until next time.